Sitting down with my good friend Big E. What Eric Yamashita. Big when did that come about? Big E.
25 years ago, maybe.
20. So you've been in the bodybuilding, fitness industry, health and wellness industry for even longer.
Since '86.
No
Can't
way.
do the math. That's a long time.
You got to ask me to do the math.
That's
I'm in
a long
public high
time.
school. 86. When was your first competition?
So I graduated in '84. I weighed 95 pounds, soaking wet. Couldn't even wear adult small shirt, and I had a coach from Texas. His name was L.J. Clayton, and he was the wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles, and he was PE teacher at my school, and he's the one who inspired me. He's like, Yamashita, you're probably not going to get tall. You got to get big. And he was honest, but he was he was the spark. He was like a 210-pound black wide receiver, and to me, that was the biggest guy I've ever seen in my life. So he inspired me there to start.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, what high school did you go to that you had a PE teacher like that?
Hawaii Baptist Academy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that explains it.
HBA.
Wow.
Stands for Hawaii's Best Asians.
Hawaii's Best Asians. They right about that one. So you have this NFL player as a PE teacher. Now, did you know prior to that that was the spark that was like, man, I gotta get in this fitness industry?
No, I just thought I wanted to get bigger. I'm not going to get taller. I said I better have nice body because that's how you get the girls. So let's be honest. You know what I mean? Guys wanted cars. I figured after a while the car is so much, but if you get out of the car, you got to have a nice body. When you're 16, 17, that's the...
Look at the foresight thinking already in high school. If you're joining us, welcome to Culturised. This is Eric Yamashita. Let's see. Bodybuilding pro, fitness trainer, health and wellness coach. You do everything, but of course, we're a cultured show, so... We're going to present you with a lay, but the CDC says we have to do it this way. Okay. That's how you give lays now. It's all you. Thank you, brother, for being here.
Thank you for your nuts.
Yeah, around your neck, where they're supposed to be. Bodybuilding. What was first? Was it just when PE teacher says, "Listen, you're not going to be this, but we're going to get you here"? Was that the spark? Was it like?
Yeah, and then I was too small to play football. I actually played volleyball, which is back row. Yeah, amazing. I wrestled, which is the automatic. And then I just started working out. I realized this is something that wasn't a team sport. This is something I could do pretty good. And it just kind of kicked in, and
That was high school.
Right.
Who was there? Any of your friends doing that? Was that just you? Like you just picked that up?
It was me, and I started
reading. Back
then there was no internet. So
yeah.
This is internet's not till '91. This is '84. Reading the magazines. And then I lived in Wapahu, so I went to the spa fitness center in Waipio and joined because I was going to Leeward Community College, because that's the echelon of education. So
that explains it.
I went to spa fitness and I was sold. It was like $1 down, $10 a month, or $15 a month. And then I realized that after school I could go and train. And then a couple guys befriended me, and I spent all my time just going to school and working at the gym. And then they gave me a job, and I thought that's like the dream job to work in a gym. So that was like maybe '86.
Wow.
And ever since then, I've been working in the gym industry since '86. Yeah.
You say HBA, Hawaii's Best Asians, ethnic background.
My dad is half Japanese, half Chinese, so they said he was Korean.
Is that how it happens?
Yeah, he grew up in Kalihi, went to Farrington. My mom is from Long Island, New York.
Wow.
Yeah, she's English, Scottish, Welsh.
So all those growing up in the household. Okay, we're gonna go back a little. Growing up, was culture, Japanese culture, Asian culture, New York culture? Was that in the household, or is it just more local? We
grew up in Wapahu. We lived in a cul-de-sac. So our neighbor was Filipino. The next neighbor was Hawaiian Chinese. They had a hula studio, Japanese, Portuguese. So it was very diverse. My mom was the only Caucasian white lady in the neighborhood.
Wow.
But fortunately, when my mom and dad started dating, my dad's mom was Chinese. So back in that day.
Right.
We wasn't racist. It just you wanted that dominant race. You wanted my dad to only date Chinese girls. But my white mom in there, my grandma didn't talk to my mom at all. So I developed this thing where my mom would go to my grandma's house every Thursday and she would teach her how to cook. My grandma wouldn't talk to my mom at all because it was a test.
Yeah.
My mom learned how to cook local food. Then she passed the test and they got married. So my mom was already learning local food by the time we grew up. My dad grew up in Kalihi, but that was like, kimchi sandwich and spam and rice. So there was no dominant Chinese or dominant Japanese. It was just more of a local homogenized.
Which is actually, it's a good mix because now you kind of understand. Were there things from your childhood that traditional wise from any side of the ethnicities that you have that that were in the household that you remember? You know, like I always bring this up, like, you know, Hawaiians like, oh, you don't whistle at night, or were there things that your parents or even your grandparents taught you, like, hey, this is...
Not really. So like I said, my mom was the only Caucasian Holly lady in the neighborhood. So, and she was a teacher. So our house was the hub for the neighborhood because my mom was a teacher. So there's always board games and structured things. Nice. Everybody else, you know, they were eating SpaghettiOs and TV dinners, and So my parents became health nuts before Whole Foods.
Wow.
So we ate healthy food. We didn't eat meat. We ate tofu, and we had a compost pile. So it was kind of a strange...
Wow, they were ahead of the game.
And my dad was a cop, so he was a local guy, but then he ate brown bread, and I just felt like that was terrible. It's so shame. We eat brown bread and no more white rice, you know, but...
It's now I see it, right? I see it because you've brought that in. But we're sitting down with Culturised, talking with Biggie Eric Yamashita, fitness trainer, bodybuilding pro, health and well, and now we just figured out that it's been in his genetics for a long time. This is Culturised. Bringing you what matters. Viewers can receive the Star Advertiser Digital Full Access subscription for just $9.95 per month. Go to staradvertiser.com and click on subscribe. Use the code AHIGHTHING. Aloha Termite and Pest Control, your local and leading pest and termite control solution in the state. Always providing you superior service with Aloha. Sitting down with Eric Yamashita, and I love this. What you're in right now, the field you're in your adult life, it was. Now, did you know? We're as we talk about, your parents were health nuts. That's what we called them back in the day. Right? Oh, you guys are health nuts. Did you know that was going to be a part of your adult life, or is that something you just kind of like, when you started to get into the health and wellness and fitness industry, you're like, shoot, that's what my parents
No, because growing up in Waipahu was very local in Manapua, man, and my mom was baking brown bread. And brown rice, which nobody ate. So I wanted to do everything opposite. As soon as I moved out, I got a big screen TV and I ate everything junk food, everything processed.
Like mac and cheese.
But then it slowly evolved, and the gym kind of kicked in. And
I'm so and your parents, so health food compost pile.
Yeah.
See, I'm tripping out because they're Foresight at the time, and that wasn't a big thing. So they were kind of the OGs of this whole, what do you call it? This whole health kick that everybody's doing. They were also part of some businesses in Hawaii. Yeah. So you, Kokua, what were they called?
It was, I think it was called Kokua Co-op. I don't know if you look back in the day, there was a thing called the Crater Festival.
Yeah.
So we used to go to the Crater Festival. Super duper hippie, no more shoes. Yeah. You know, and they started that. That was like, it's very 70s kind of thing. So just like the movies. And so my parents, with a bunch of people, started, I think, $100 buy-in. They had a Kokua Foods Co-op. Wow. So I think it was pretty much on P. Koi.
The one by UH, right?
Yeah, it's there now, but before it was on P. Koi, where the old Tower Records used to be a long, long time ago.
And it was just health foods where
and it's kind of like a member-based thing. And then you go in and you buy a bag of dates and spirulina and tofu. It was just strange, and I hated it. But
so they had the concept of Costco. Yeah. Right in their head, membership shopping. They had the concept of health and wellness. Like today, they got Down to Earth Whole Foods, and they had that concept. They created the Kokua Co-op. And at what point did you realize, or did you even realize, wow, I'm in this health and fitness industry? Thank my parents because they established that. Was that like subconsciously in the back of your mind, nutrition?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, then I realized that all the stuff they taught me. Here I am, people saying, "Oh, this is the new thing," and I've been inundated with that for my whole life, right? So my parents always laugh, like, "Oh, you went to Whole Foods, yeah? How's that? Super expensive. We've been doing that. Remember back when you were 10 and you thought it was hilarious?" And
so it is. It's funny. I always think it's funny when people are like, "Oh yeah, this diet and that diet." Let me tell you what they were doing in the 80s, right? At what point when you got started in the gym? Right, that PE teacher motivated you. You got that subconscious knowledge of your parents eating healthy. When did you decide that, wow, I can compete? I want to try and go into bodybuilding.
I guess, like I said, after high school, I was 95 pounds, and I started gaining weight and getting into, because I worked in the gym, so you're surrounded by all these. Right. This guy Tony Tacklon and Jack Wright. They were like the bodybuilders in Hawaii in the 80s. So I'm just surrounded by those guys. So like, oh, you got to work out and do this, and that's all you do, right? So go to school. And then everybody else competed. So that was the kind of the thing to do. And I gained maybe like 10 pounds, which on my frame was a lot. So I was like, well, big body now. Like, let's try this out. And that was the start.
How old were you at the time when you were like your first competition?
21.
Wow.
Yeah, 21, 22.
So you were training from high school.
Yeah.
So you were putting on some size. You were putting on some weight.
Mm-hmm.
How hard was it? See, today we always hear people, oh, I got to lose weight. I got to lose weight. How hard is it? Harder to lose or gain?
I think it's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have clients who are hard gainers. They want to gain weight, and it's very, very difficult because their metabolism is a certain point. And I have clients who are, maybe they want to lose weight and their metabolism is a certain way. So I think it's about the same. Yeah.
So your whole goal was just to gain weight, get bigger, increase muscle. 21 years old. What competition was it?
The Hawaiian Classic at the Ilikai.
Wow.
At the Ilikai in 1987. Wow. Yeah.
How'd you do?
So I think I got up to like 100, maybe 20 pounds or 21 pounds. And I dieted down to about 114 or 115, okay? But the weight class was 155. So I'm giving up 40 pounds, and it's novice. So that means you didn't enter before.
Right.
So I entered the show. I'm the smallest guy. There's 9 guys. I got second, and I won best poser.
No way.
So for me, it was like winning the Olympics.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'd never won anything before in high school. So all of a sudden, I'm in this manly sport. I get second out of all these huge guys and people were chanting my name and screaming. I'm like, this is unbelievable. Yeah.
So you were coming in 40 pounds already, 155, and you're walking in
114, 115.
114, 115. After that, were you just like, I can do this? I'm going to all these other competitions?
I was fired up. Yeah, that was the spark for sure.
If you're joining us on YouTube, don't forget some comments down below. Hit the subscribe button. We're sitting down talking fitness culture, health, wellness with Hawaii's trainer, Eric Yamashita. That's all right here on Culturised. Don't forget, check out our website as well, culturised.com. 21 years old, first bodybuilding competition. Mentally, how is that going into competition? Not a lot of people realize the mental side of bodybuilding, especially when you're walking in to a class of guys on stage that are average 155, right? And which you said 40 pounds over. What is it like mentally preparing for that? Just that part, knowing that everybody is this weight and you're walking in here.
I guess I didn't care. The people I surrounded myself they never treated me like I was a smaller guy, right? So I always walked out with guys who were bigger or older or stronger, so that way I learned. The level was always pushed. So the bigger the guys, the stronger the guys, I'm always reaching to be higher. So those guys gave me a lot of positive reinforcement, and I just didn't really think about, didn't have the internet, so you didn't really worry about other people. My parents and that coach, they said, you got to do the best you can for who you are. So, but I guess my confidence was high back then. I wasn't even thinking about winning. I was just thinking about doing well and seeing, and then when I got a taste of victory, got a taste.
Yeah. So once you finished that, what was the next competition after that?
The next year I did this 50th State Open, was at the Sheraton. So basically so I moved up from novice to the open class. Whoa. And they had this international show that this lady, Cindy Chang, would bring in. Different countries would come and bring teams like Olympics. Yeah, it's in 1989.
So what do you have to do? So like you went novice to go, do you have to win so much? You have to win top 3, or how does that work?
Back then it was like if you make the top 3, then you get to go to the open class.
Yeah. What was tougher, novice or open?
Oh, open for sure. Yeah, because you have guys who have been competing for a long time in the open class. Yeah.
So you came on the scene, guys were just like, who's this kid?
Yeah,
right?
I was a kid, totally. Yeah, I was 21. I looked like I was 14.
No way, but just yoked.
Yeah, I mean, I had hair, so I don't have hair, and I was tan. But I mean, I wasn't really big, but I was really shredded.
Yeah.
Back then, a lot of guys were big, but not that lean.
You were ahead of the game in that too. Back then, it was everybody tried to be as big as possible, tried to get as lean as possible. But you walk on stage, and people are like, "Can you even get that lean? Like paper thin skin, just shredded." Was that part of the diet?
Yeah, I think from the beginning, I was able to turn it on and turn it off. So like I just ate whatever I wanted. Once I started dieting, I didn't cheat. I did my, every day I did everything focused. I followed whatever the guys in the gym told me, because that's all you had back then. Like I said, no internet. In the beginning of my diet, this is my diet: 2 or 3 lean cuisines, spaghetti, because it was 290 calories, because I didn't know any better.
In the freezer section.
290 calories, because I figured I need about 1,000 calories. So I have 2 or 3 of those, and a bagel, apple, and some days I'd have tuna or chicken a night, and Diet Cokes.
And here we are trying to get all fancy with lean cuisine.
Because it was a deficit. The whole thing about diets and nutrition is you have to be at a deficit. So if you had a deficit, you burn calories, right? So I was in a deficit, not knowing any better, and back then in this 87, the cardio machines weren't as advanced they are now. So I'm so short, I didn't fit half the machines. So I'd have to go run and make my own. Yeah, so I mean, it was just very hodgepodge thing, but it worked for me, and then I just evolved from there.
With that said, would you recommend lean cuisine today? Or is that see, I think about it like it's still processed, right?
To some extent, point, right? Yeah. But what's not processed nowadays?
That's true. Yeah. But if a client was like, "Hey, I do lean cuisines," would you be like, We
gotta remember now, bodybuilding is for a look.
Right.
Health is a whole different thing. Bodybuilding is not necessarily healthy. It's just for a look. It's very superficial.
I like that you said that because I was just gonna. You just read my mind. Yeah. So aesthetics, purely aesthetics. Do anything you possibly can for it. But you were a healthy bodybuilder, more compared to others,
right? Yeah.
Right, because you were eating properly and you know what to eat. Would you recommend that today to bodybuilders? Like, you just make your inside healthy. Yeah, because we had conversations about that before. It's like, hey, your outside looks good. Yeah, what about your inside? Is that part of your training?
Well, that
today?
Goes for everything. I mean. Just because you're happy on Instagram doesn't mean you're happy inside, right? So same thing. I mean, like I'll be 55 this year, so I've really been pushing internal wellness with people. So what you put in, your body uses, like to process. That's your fuel. So you have to make sure the insides are good. It doesn't matter if your skin is fantastic, if your guts are really, really bad inside. So the more and more I'm dealing with people, they're dealing with digestive issues and certain kind of things and immunity stuff and allergies like that. So the inside got to be just as good as the outside.
How many competitions have you done so far?
29.
29?
Yeah.
Wow. Are you still?
So
you're not retired, are you?
I was thinking maybe we're gonna do one more shot at 55.
Nice.
But I have sciatica recently, and I just got so much stuff going on right now. So the priorities, when you're single, it's at the top. Now I have a wonderful wife, a son. I have a couple businesses. My parents are getting older, so I'm realizing that it's not the highest priority. It's for me, but bodybuilding is a very selfish sport. It's not really a team sport. So I'm kind of weighing both out. So, I mean, it can always wait.
And you've done 29 bodybuilding competitions. You're still going, right? When did you start training clients? When did you think to yourself, and this is the mindset, was it a give back because now you had this knowledge, you wanted to share it with other people? Or was the initial thought business? What was it first?
I was training people in the early 90s at the gym on South Street. And
the gym.
Yeah, just helping people out because the more I learn, people are like, what do you do? So I just wanted to share. Right. And I think when you teach, you learn it twice, right? Yeah, so I was just doing that. I realized that. And then, of course, I'm young, so it's a good way to meet girls. You go to the club, like, what you do? I'm a trainer. Really? I was going to trainer. Oh, what's your number? Boom.
That was the easy day.
It was not hard. I mean, that's the honest truth.
If you guys ever seen, this is gonna sound really creepy, but I remember seeing you in the gym, and you were magnetic, right? Even like dudes are like, they just walk up to you and be like, hey, that's Big E, that's Big E, and they would just start asking you questions, but then at the same time I'm thinking, man, that question just turned into 30 minutes of his workout, right? So you started training clients, this, 80s, 90s. At what point did you realize, because we're talking about health and wellness, and I love the fact that you just said bodybuilding is for aesthetics and health and wellness is totally different. When did you start initiating that into your entire program? Like, so 93, the full body.
93 I started, 92, 93 I started training people for money. And I was working at the Hyatt.
Right.
So I just realized that this is a good thing, but I didn't want to do it full time. Right. So I was doing it on the side. And then it just totally, it evolved into 2000. I started full time, quit all my jobs and started a legal training business. And
it's a pretty intense thing. Is it? You've been doing it for so long. There's not a lot of trainers that survive in this industry. And I know there's a lot of factors in it, but when did you, so you started training them, of course, for the physical aspect. Did you start incorporating at the same time when you started your business? Okay, you got to eat well, you got to do this. Because today, like you said, it's a holistic thing. Is that how you train as well now?
Well, like we were talking before, now the buzzword is wellness and life coaching. I was doing that 25 years ago. Right. It just wasn't called life coaching.
And with that, so the positivity, when I would see you in the gym, and you'd walk in the gym and you could be across the gym and Biggie would yell. I remember always, and I love that you would just yell, Makani! How much you bench? Right? And it was that positivity that you have through everything that you've learned and you've trained, stemming all the way from your PE teacher. But I like to call it, you are now getting into this whole, I don't want to say new, you're just rehashing or reminding people about this. I like to call it the culture of positivity.
I try to live it, and I mean, like I always tell people, going back a little bit, I think there's good personal trainers and there's good businessmen. Mm-hmm. And I learned from the beginning. I went to this convention in San Diego like 15, 16 years ago, and he said you need to be both. So there's people who are really good trainers, but they're terrible with their money and they're terrible with their people. So there's people that really have good PR skills, but they don't run a business. And there's people who are great businessmen, but they're not good trainers. So I tried my best to be both. Because the personal training, that comes easy to me, and the people skills, the talking, the walao is super easy for me. The business part is easy for me too, but you have to do both. You have to have a balance. So if you want longevity, then you have to have both. Yeah.
So this culture of positivity, is it when you're training a client, what percentage is more psychological? Because you're there with them. And what percentage is more motivating than actually physically showing them what to do?
70, 80%.
Wow.
Yeah, I have a lot of clients that are elderly now. So my demographic has really shifted. The last couple of years, maybe 60% of my clients are over 60, 65.
So you really have to. Okay, so we're now getting into the culture of positivity. We're talking about bodybuilding. Hawaii's trainer Eric Yamashita is here. First of all, thank you very much for taking time, and thank your clients for letting me take you away. But you want to know more? Check out our website, Culturised.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is Culturised. Hey, welcome to Culturised. If you're joining us, Culturised.com is the website. This is the extended version of the Culturised podcast. We're sitting with Hawaii's trainer, fitness trainer, bodybuilding pro, and I like to now call you the culture of positivity. You're bringing this back, and it's such a perfect time. And I credit that, of course, to your parents now, because your parents had foresight of health, wellness, and all that, and what's going on today. And it's funny because people think, oh, it's a new concept, right? It's a new concept. Right. And I would love to see you in a conversation and look at people and go, no. I used to eat brown bread, right? We had a compost pile. And there was all this, positivity, right? People would dwell in, but it was, it's always fair to say that it was people in the health and wellness and the fitness industry that were more positive. Now you're bringing this culture of positivity back, and you're doing it in this really cool way. The catchphrase, every day better.
So, I mean, because I've been doing training for 30 years, I just always try to be positive. And the truth is, it's not hard. That's my vibe. I'm motivational. I have fun. I like talking to people. I like helping people, just making people's day better. And, I have a son who's 17 now and a wife. So I just always try to be positive. And it's not fake. With Instagram, there's a whole new platform. And I just started saying, you got to be better, every day better, every day better. And my client's like, you say that a lot. And my son goes, Dad, that's irritating. You say that a lot. My wife said, so people started saying that. And I realized I was just priming people in their heads to be positive, yeah? And I started rolling around my head. And I have a journal on the side of my bed, which I write ideas. And lots of times I never do anything about it. I'm like, okay, I'm getting older. I got to put these ideas to practice. And I wrote it down. I sketched it out. And I go, this is pretty good. And I made a block thing. I said, this is going to be good on a shirt. And I like shirts that are really bold and simple and not busy. And I said, I'm going to do this. And my wife said, okay, whatever. She didn't, whatever. I made a shirt, and then I ended up doing cheap weeks with Augie and Guy Huggy. And that's the first day I wore the shirt. That was April 1st, 2019. No way. And I wore the shirt, gave them a shirt. I made 50 and posted on Instagram. And in an hour, I sold all the shirts. And I was already priming myself to think about how I'm going to start this brand. I'm going to do a nonprofit. And that's where it started. So almost 2 years ago.
2 years, this thing has blown up, and I'm amazed because the simplicity of it, the shirt itself, and also the simplicity of just that, every day better. It's something you always say, and I like, because it is genuine. If you don't know Eric, you're always, I don't see, there's not one day in or out of the gym that I haven't seen you any other way but positive. Even talking about when you were valeting, it's like you were always talking to people. You're always being positive for them. Clients love that. Do you see that it helps them when you're mentally in their head? do you see them progress faster physically?
Well, I think in this day and age, we all want perfection. And it's kind of stemmed from just being a little bit better every day. So instead of perfection, we just want to have a small little bit of success. I try to tell people, let's embrace small moments of success instead of worrying about this biggest picture. I want to lose 100 pounds. It's easier for me to focus on helping you lose 5. So instead of thinking about 3 months later, a year later, let's think about every day, small incremental steps to make your life a little bit better. A little bit of improvement all the time, and then you have these small little success, and then you get momentum going. I say that it's a meaning, it's a movement, it's a mantra, it's a motto, it's a mindset, it's a motivation, all these M's, but it's definitely turned into a movement.
It's a great,
like you said, a positive movement.
It's such the culture positive. It's a positive movement. You see it not only in Hawaii. You're now, it's international.
Yeah,
it's everywhere, and you've got just the T-shirt, and you got a new. I see you got. I love this one that you have on. Just better.
Just very simple. Basically it's a conversation starter.
Yeah.
Like better. What does that mean? So it's a spark to say, you can talk about being better. What do you do better? What do you want to do? Like all of a sudden people talk, and it's not about selling a shirt, but it ends up leading to people wanting to get something. And wherever I wear it, people they have a hard time not saying every day better. What does that mean? Or so they're audibilizing something positive, and just becomes this model where people. It was a physical thing in the beginning for training, and now it's evolved to, my working on my marriage, working on my finances, working on my relationships, working on God, whatever it is. In every aspect of life, you can think about being every day better.
Isn't it funny how we get so caught up in all these trends and all these how to better myself and how to life coach and all this, and all it comes down to is these 3 words that Eric Yamashita would always say to every client, to your son, to your wife, to your neighbors, to every day better. And now everybody's just like, And I remember the first time I seen the shirt and that whole phrase, I was like, every day better. Because I honestly, I said, I didn't know who created it, right? I'm like, every day better. And I would think about that, and then I'd see another person have it, and then I'd see it in the gym, right? I see it in the gym. I'm like, wow, that's pretty crazy. And then I finally got an Everyday Better shirt, and I remember putting it on. I've never put on a shirt like this ever. If you've ever put on clothing, you don't really think about it. You just put it on. I remember putting on this shirt, going, wow, this is like some kuleana right now. This is like I'm held accountable because if I put this shirt on, and I'm like shitty, then I gotta take it off. I can't. I gotta do better. Everything I'm doing, right? What does the shirt look like?
We got some shirts here for you. There you go.
Look at that. So what? Culture omiyage.
Yeah.
Wow. It says to Makani and Lanai.
Yeah,
Who's that?
That's the other guy. So I just looked. We have 5,700 people wearing these now. So
it's almost 5,700.
Yeah. So around the world, basically people are walking around with Everyday Better. So it's good marketing, but I don't think about it like that. I mean, so it's great marketing for me, but it's just people are walking around with a positive thing. I got a great story for you if you got a minute. Okay.
Yeah. Go for it.
Somebody posted the other day, Everyday Better, picture of a shirt hanging in a store, and I was like. So I messaged him, where'd you get that? Okay, and he actually found it in Salvation Army Kailua thrift store.
That's actually a cool thing.
Oh, you must be so upset because your shirt's in a thrift store. I said, no, if you think about it, it's perspective. This guy, somebody bought a shirt, donated to the thrift store. This guy went and saw the shirt, took a picture of it. He goes, it would motivate me for the day. He didn't even buy the shirt. So how many levels of motivation? So he didn't buy it. The next person's gonna buy it. So I've impacted all these people with one shirt.
Wow.
So think about how big that is. And then with social media, it's amazing.
And that's why I love it. That's why I call it the culture of positivity, because the definition of culture is a group of 10 or more people believing in the same thing, practicing the same thing. And all you did was, like your parents, just take what we knew and what was right and just reminded people. Yeah. And sometimes Hawaii's such a t-shirt culture. And just that reminder, look at that. Every day better.
See, these are good too, because when you want to stick the finger at somebody in traffic, you got that wristband on, like, whoa, yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying.
People tell me, like, I look down and I'm going to go whack my kid. I go, I get the wristband on, or it's time to shut up. Or,
day better.
Whatever, yeah. So, yeah.
Braces, I love it. Perfect for
these are really, it's such a small thing, but it's amazing how much impact it has on people.
Yeah. Like I said, when I was putting on my t-shirt, and it was, I almost had this guilt that I'm putting on Eric Yamashita's Everyday Better t-shirt, and I have no excuse. Because even when I took it off, it's like, okay, I put it on, It's like I'm putting on this T-shirt of positivity. Even when I take it off, I still gotta be. Yeah. And I would feel deathly guilty if every day of my life something wasn't better. And like you said, I like the fact that you said that you don't have to look at the big picture. You can just do little things better, right? Don't worry about the 100-pound losing that. Just try 20 right now.
It's easy to get overwhelmed, especially in this day and age and what's going on. It's just easy to get overwhelmed. So if you think about small incremental steps, it's a little bit easier to stay positive, be clear.
Do you see a difficulty with social media and people's goals?
The last year has been, of course, difficult, right? But it's actually been a lifesaver for me because this has helped me, if I was frustrated or sad or whatever, just because of work or whatever, connect with people, and people in turn connect with me. So I've been able to reach so much more people. And with Instagram, you can be really positive, really negative. And it's been a positive thing. So I've been able to interact with tons and tons of people who send me a DM like, dude, I didn't buy a shirt, but you got me motivated or whatever. So they're getting affected, but I'm getting affected, so we're both benefiting. You know what I mean? So it's.
But you also have you have clients that come to you, and sometimes they have these bizarre goals because it's like, oh, I seen this guy on Instagram. He lost like 200 pounds, and how do you deal? I mean, is it changed like that? People that was looking at Instagram.
Well, it's hard because you have unrealistic. Yeah, you have pictures like, oh, that guy's a 6'5" black guy, and you're a 5'3" Chinese guy. So but so I just try to meet them in the middle. So I just try to say, okay, it's not that you can't reach the goal, but let's think about small, attainable goals. Yeah,
I like it. Yeah. I like it. Look at this.
Yeah, so real simple in the front, better, and then that's the logo that we always, that's the original logo. So that's very bold. And
when did you think of just putting better? Because it's the newest.
I like really, really, really simple stuff. So a couple months back, and I was going back and forth with the font and what I want to do. And when I dropped it, I didn't get much traction at all. And then I wore it. Then I did a video explaining what it meant. He was like, "Oh, I get it now." And then so now it's selling really, really fast.
I love the story. Yeah. Always love stories behind these. Yeah. It was funny because I was looking through my closet today, going, "Where's my Big E shirt?" Yeah. I mean, even that back then, and that was a fundraiser. Or because you were competing.
Yeah, to compete on the mainland. It was a fundraiser.
And I remember, like, for the life of me, it was the gym, and then I was like, I would look at people going, who you got? Oh, I got to know the guy to get this shirt. Yeah. And to me, it was like this. There was this ohana. There was this group of your friends that were, and I'm like, how come I cannot get a shirt like that?
Well, it was a community. That's what we've lost. So I'm trying to
exactly that. I forget who I got the shirt from, but I was excited. I was like, because now I went to the gym, I was like, oh yeah.
Get the official shirt.
I got the official shirt. So we got one. We'll get Lanai's name. I'll just say it didn't come up. But brother, mahalo for joining us on Culturised and just sharing a little bit of insight on you, this culture of positivity that you're now getting into. And I love the fact that you're continually moving forward. And not only that, because it's really where the theme of this season has been kind of a give back. And that's exactly what you started to do. PE teacher, well, actually back to your parents, have established this concept of health and wellness and eating right and living positive. And then you had this PE coach, and then you get into bodybuilding, then you become a pro, and now you're giving back and helping all these people just be positive. So mahalo you for that. Everyday Better, you guys are our social media, all the users, IG, Facebook. It's like, we're getting old because we're like, oh yeah, that stuff. Go on Social Book. Look at Social Book. So thank you, brother, very much for being here. If you're joining us, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Comment down below if you want to get yourself an Everyday Better Hawaii T-shirt. Go find them on social media, or find them at you're at Flex Fitness sometimes, right? Yep. That's your not doing his usual workout. Is that the worst time when people talk to you while it's your personal workout?
It's okay. Because I have weights at my studio, so I leave my studio so I can get my own workout in at Flex Fitness is great. Yeah, it's a great vibe.
I love that. We're going to have to get them on. But again, thank you very much for joining us. This is Culturised.